bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you in the sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again back to Children of Éarte. We're so excited to have you here. And as usual, before we get into the meatiness, we're going to jump over to Adam and talk about our sponsors.
I don't know what Deb's talking about because all these sponsors are
I'm sorry.
meaty.
The meatiest
They're very
sponsors.
meaty. And I know a thing or two about meat. All right, let's go.
They're so
Idol
meaty.
Champions.
They won't sort your New Year's resolution.
There you go. That's it.
Can't even
Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Thank you so much for your sponsorship and support. You can find an Electrum chest code on the overlay bouncing around in chat. Thanks again, Idol Champions. We also have Die Hard Dice, who has supplied our cast. We have made it through the entire alphabet here. They have supplied our cast with Zen Zirconiums. Zen Zirconiums.
It's so good.
And we hope that they roll high and not low, because I'm sure that, you know, this is going to be a perfectly safe, nice little stroll by, you know, the seaside. It's going to be super, super easy. So thank you, Die Hard Dice. You can get 10% off your order there with the code Éarte in their store. We're also giving away a gift card, so pay attention to the prompts in chat for a chance to win that. And finally, Sirenscape, because epic games need epic sound. I'm Adam Bradford, CDO at Demiplane. We have many things going on. We have these Nexus digital tools for so many games that we are onboarding at the moment. We are in early access with everything that we're doing. We're working on character tools, so we are in closed alpha for the Pathfinder character builder and digital character sheet. So we are making the progress, and we're trying to get there to the full launch of everything that's going on with Nexus digital tools. Check those things out in early access right now. And tonight, this evening, I am playing Silas Sorrell, your, oh my goodness, I always forget this part, dimensionally displaced magical superfan.
Hey.
How am I supposed to follow with that? All right. Everybody, I'm Alicia Marie. You can find me on socials at Alicia Marie Body. I am a costume artist, creative artist, and RPG performer. And it's 2023, which means new costuming contracts. So that's basically what I'm working on now. But this is the thing that drives me crazy is like everything is so overshared these days. That's just life. That's how we live in. So everything I do is like NDA'd to like the teeth. So I can't share anything until like the very end. So it's like, I'm excited. That's all I wanted to say. Happy to be here. Tonight, I'll be playing Fairuza Armstrong, attorney at law. Choo choo, mofos.
Hello, I am Jen Kretchmer. You can find me on socials as at DreamWisp. You can find me streaming on Twitch as DreamWisp Jen. I'm an author. I am a performer, disability consultant, all sorts of fun things. But tonight I am playing your friendly neighborhood troublemaker, Maeve Morgan Flynn.
I have to say, DreamWisp was a like hot grab on socials.
you.
That's a good
Was
handle.
it?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Yeah, something unique enough that you can just find it everywhere. Unlike my name, which is Lauren Urban. I'm the content coordinator over at Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realms. No, seriously, there's already other Lauren Urbans who play the oboe out there who grab stuff. Yeah, there's more of us. Yeah, some
This is like an everything everywhere all at once thing or something.
kind of. I wish them nothing but the best on their oboe life, because you know what? If that just means that there's two Lauren oboes out there making the world a better place for
That's
oboes.
right.
I guess. I don't know. But tonight I'm not playing oboe. I'm playing Carolyn Deb Stern, who does not have a tagline. And so yes, you at home, if you would like to suggest a tagline for me, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know on socials as Oboe Lauren, and I'll come up with something eventually.
I thought it was goldfish armored tank, but
That's just this week.
That was pretty
That's
great.
mini tank.
That's
Woo!
mini
I mean that's
tank.
at least in the running.
Hashtag be a nebfish.
I would like a tagline that is actually true, and Neb Tank is not.
I'm going in like a koala.
Hi, everyone. My name's Hope LaVelle. And tonight I want to give a quick shout out to Miss Alicia for making these. Everyone. It says Steve's Mine, established 1848. Wonderful gift. Thank you so much, Alicia. They're all custom colored for each of our characters, and I love it. She's amazing. Anyways,
They're very cozy.
last week was a little bit sad, so I thought we'd start today with a joke. I'm giving you guys my favorite one from this book. Okay, ready?
Ready.
Where does the Dark Lord keep his evil armies?
I don't know. Where does the
Where?
Dark
Where?
Lord keep his evil armies?
Where?
In his evil sleeveys.
She's here all week, folks, but not.
Does Sirenscape have a
Twist.
drum? Yeah, crash. And a, yeah,
We
need
get
that.
recorded.
You know, that was always my
A rim
favorite
shot.
concept for a bard. A bard who tells such terrible jokes that they do damage. They do
Oh,
psychic
you gotta
damage.
follow. Oh, there it was.
Dad jokes.
That's good.
You
one.
gotta follow. I'm gonna shout out a
Yeah.
Twitter user, but Punbard on
Okay.
Twitter does exactly that.
I will steal them and use them for my psychic
They're
damage.
fantastic.
Anyways, thank you for that. For indulging me.
No, thank you for that.
Mhm.
Tonight I will be playing Miss Robin Beckett, your granny for hire.
And I'm Deborah Ann Woll. Thank you all so much for being here. I will be your storyteller for this evening, as I have been for 32 evenings in the past, as we embark on our 33rd chapter of Children of Éarte. So thank you to everyone at home. Thank you, players. Thank you, Josh. Let's settle in and get ready. So we had a very dramatic story last time. There was a great battle, two titans duking it out in a train car, and unfortunately we lost the statue formerly known as Steve. Within the kind of assessing of that and your resting, you all gained a little bit more, I don't know, knowledge about yourselves. Strength with inner strength was forged as you pulled up at the station of Blackwater Bay. So it is now daytime. You guys got your full night's rest, fairly uneventful, as the train pulls into the station. It is, mid-morning. The first thing you notice is it's quite overcast. This is a cliffside looking out at the ocean. It kind of, swoops around, creating a bit of this bay, but it's quite a large bay. At the top of this cliff, you can see down to the left, there is a path that sort of is cut into the side of this cliff, allowing for some walking space to kind of go down and zigzag to this pebble beach down below. But here at the, sort of edge, the precipice of this cliff, there is a rather large signpost with some pictures and things about the area. And as you look out across the ocean, you can see that already some waves are beginning to whip up. And there are some clouds. They're quite a ways off, but you can see kind of a storm brewing way off in the distance out to sea.
I want to take a long look at that storm and kind of feel in my bones. Do I think in the next 24 hours that storm is gonna hit? Using some of
Survival?
my
Yeah.
I have this
Yeah.
thing. I have this weather sense that
Okay.
is part of my it's part of Druidcraft, in where
Fantastic.
I just know what the weather is going to be like for the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So your senses, sometime within the next 24 hours, probably about 20 hours from now, something like that, there's a pretty big bad storm coming in. You know, and from as much as you can tell, like a good long one that's going to be pretty rough.
You all see all those clouds over there? Yeah.
They look kind of ominous.
We've got till tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow that's gonna hit. I can feel it in my kidney.
Oh, yes, and I can agree. You know, back when I was a storm chaser, you know, the biggest tornadoes always happen in the middle of the night, so we must be vigilant.
You're a
think
storm?
Tornadoes gonna hit?
Wow.
Do they get tornadoes up there?
Up here, no, not at all. No. But a storm is a storm is a storm, and I tell you, I trust Neb that storm looks pretty rough. So we just have to be careful and find shelter. I mean, I suppose the train will be good. We just can't be out exploring too long, right?
You're right.
So listen, for those of us really keeping a very close, watch on this, Miss Robin, was Storm Chaser an actual job, or was that more like a hobby?
Oh, that was a hobby. Oh, every summer, the best.
I just wanted to make sure that we classified it right in the documentation.
Silas, are you
storms for free?
Yeah.
Are you keeping track?
Maybe.
I mean, that's awesome because I'd love to see the giant list because every day there's.
For posterior out there, we need to keep track of this for posteriors.
I appreciate that.
I'm glad you're holding up the rear there.
Well, I suppose whatever we're going to be doing here at this particular stop, which is Blackwater Bay, we better get it done before that, whatever that is over there, gets any closer. I would love to believe that we're going to get off this train right now and we're going to experience some amazing vacation resort sort of thing, but something tells me that's not going to be the case.
Is there anything we're supposed to do to secure the train? Either like while we're gone or for the storm.
Yeah, we don't have Steve anymore.
There's not anything in my
your book. I mean, the train is a giant iron. It is a big, heavy piece of work here. You can't keep it running without people, continually, feeding it. You do notice off to the side there's a small shed that has more, more wood in it. There's a water tower. You can refill the water. So at each of these stops, you do seem to be able to sort of re-up your supplies as you need them. But yeah, I mean, unless someone wants to stay and keep the fire going, the train will go dormant if you leave it.
Now, it was a trial and a half to try to get the train started, but it had been cold for a while. If it's just, I don't know, Maeve, if it's cold for like a couple of hours, is it going to be a big to-do to get it going again?
What's the answer on that?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the less, the quicker you're done with and can get back to it, the better. You might still have some warm embers. You might not have let the lubricant might not need to be redone. Certainly there's a little bit of truth to that.
All right.
I hate the idea of leaving anyone behind here at the train. Because what if they encounter something that they have to handle alone?
Like those damn fairies.
Yeah. Right. No,
they are following us. They are pestering us. It's like this movie that I saw a long time ago, and it's like on the tip of my tongue right now, but it was like this little guy, and they found a baby, and the baby like floated down a river. I mean, I know that sounds like Moses from the Bible, but it's like, it wasn't that. But then they went on this grand quest to try to defeat the hag or something, but they had these little brownies. They were really fun and funny, but these little snowflake creatures are not seeming very funny. I mean, I think they're having fun every time we've seen them, but I don't know if it means fun for us.
They're mischievous.
Yeah.
Silas, it's so good to have you back.
It is. It really is.
I feel like between Miss Robin and Silas, we have just all the stories. We have every story that is ever told, and all we have to do is listen to the two of them. But before we do that, buddy system, right? Buddy system. If someone's going to stay, then two people got to stay, or we just try to get back super quick.
Can we see the water from where we are? Or
You can.
Okay.
If you want to, is it black? It's dark. It is a very, very, it's deep. This is ocean water. It's not crystal clear kind of Bermuda water. It's got little white caps on it at the moment. There is some ice. It's a bit frozen closer to shore. Certainly further out, no, but it's cold. This is cold Arctic Ocean water.
Yeah. Well, there's two things we know for sure. That we have to find a shard. And secondly, we really can't skip any stop on this trip. So we have to get off this train. Some of us have to get off this train. We have to go searching.
So listen, the masochist that hid the shard, there's two shards that we found, right? So one of them, horrible, horrible place, Morlocks attacking us, terrible, terrible experience. We were there for felt like months, but it was just apparently a couple of days. Then we come out of there, and then we go to this other town that was really, really bad too. Really, really bad. Let's be clear. And then it was hidden by some gravestone by the river. These are super, super specific places, and they're kind of in the most inconvenient place imaginable. So I'm just saying that if we are now at Blackwater Bay, is everybody thinking what I'm thinking, that it is at the bottom of the ocean somewhere?
Or it's right by the shore, and we'll go out to the bottom of the ocean, not find it, and come back and find it right where we left.
Maeve's got a shard somewhere. Let's find the shard. Shard's somewhere, little icicle shard.
The other thing that this person's been doing is leaving a lot of clues, because this is a test for us, right? This has been some sort of test, or it's been an attempt to hide these for only the right people to come along and find them, and we're the right people. That we found that out in the mine. So let's take a look around and see if we can find anything that points us in a specific direction. And if it's the bottom of the ocean, then maybe I'll talk to a whale.
I'm thinking we need scuba, Darren. I'm forgetting we have Neb here who can shapeshift into something aquatic, I guess? A mermaid?
I don't know. I've never tried it.
Is that an animal? I guess it is, because humans are animals, right?
I don't know if I've been trying to avoid things that are half and half. I feel like after the whole snake and tail thing, it's less about the stuck and more about if I do something wrong, I'm afraid that this is going to turn into a horror adventure, and I'm not ready for that. But Miss Robin, have you ever done any scuba?
Oh, of course. I was a scuba instructor in my prime. Have you ever been on the Great Reefs in Australia? They used to be so beautiful, and I would hold my breath for such a long time just to enjoy the space. I could go on for hours, but simply put, yes. And just like in the caving experience, I can probably teach you guys if we have to go in the water. It's very dangerous, but...
So, Miss Robin, most important question, job or hobby, or just hobby income?
It was a hobby income. Yes,
okay,
put that under the other column.
I've got to put it in both categories. Got it.
Oh, there's a lot of categories. I'm going to take a look around. You said that there was a little landing with basically some signs and stuff. Yeah. So what is right here? Is there any signs? Is there any plaques? Is there anything descriptive?
Fantastic. Yeah. You walk up to the edge. It's got, it's very low, like a foot high little, chain link border around the edge to make sure you don't accidentally trip over, but yeah, there is a very large sort of 3 plaque signboard. It has pictures of wildlife, it has a little map of the coastline, and it says, "Welcome to Blackwater Bay, home to wonders both natural and man-made." So the very first plaque over on the left has a bunch of pictures of aquatic life. It says, "By far the most popular excursion from this point is the whale watching expeditions. Beluga, bowhead, and narwhal are frequently seen off these shores. Very lucky marine enthusiasts might catch a pod of orcas, or the elusive Greenland shark, or perhaps even a giant octopus. But all may enjoy the large population of kittiwake, the fragrant white birds nesting on the cliffside as you hike down the switchbacks to the pebble beach. And you can indeed, once you kind of sniff on the air, there is quite an oily sort of seabird scent on the air, and you can sort of hear the squawks and the flaps of birds nesting and roosting along the cliffside below you. On the center plaque, there is a picture of a shipwreck. It says, on the man-made front, we have the wreck of the Polaris, a small steamship sunk in 1938 and a bucket list locale for scuba explorers, as the cold waters have preserved much of the ship's detail. Survivors of the wreck say it was a routine drop-off and pickup with a stranded train. Then, not a mile out, the ship caught fire, killing 3 of the crew while the others swam to shore.
Wait a minute. There's all kinds of fire going on here, people.
And train.
Everybody is dying in fires. Yes.
The right plaque. This now has a picture of an underwater habitat. More recently, we have the Borealis Underwater Habitat Research Program, or BURP, as it is lovingly called. Established in 1986, this underwater habitat is co-maintained by several universities for summer exploration and research of this unique marine habitat from a pressurized environment. Previously only accessible by scuba, recent updates have added a state-of-the-art diver's gondola, drastically decreasing the chances of decompression sickness upon resurfacing after long stays in the habitat. In fact, you might be able to see it bobbing in the waves to the northwest.
Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, they
really
went full Bioshock here.
I'm thinking a lot of things all at once, and I want to look at all the pictures. What are you thinking?
There are my
about?
threads. Are you ready to players?
This is so exciting.
And we all go off in 5 different directions immediately.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Well, Fairuza, what excites you the most? Because I've got a lot of thoughts.
It doesn't excite me, but I'm wondering if that's still functional. And we can go in that gondola together.
I mean, it was probably part of the trip before all of this happened.
It has to be. I feel like it's calling us. No?
Wait,
I mean,
did the
Maeve?
gondola go to Rapture, or was that something else? I mean, Bert.
Yes, the gondola. So as you look at the pictures, and it sort of shows, there's an but it's basically a sea lab, an underwater research facility where divers can go down and remain in a pressurized environment so that they can swim out without having to pressurize. And that they have created a state-of-the-art diver's gondola, which is essentially like a mini sub that will pressurize you as it sinks, allowing you access to this place, as well as then depressurize as it goes up. That's me. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Wow.
I was like, where's the
Sound effects from
I'm
Soundscape are
so
on point.
sorry.
Our cell phones work, everybody.
We got
Where's-
connection
I
for
will
5
No,
seconds.
we're hearing very softly. Will the circle
Where's I hear that sound.
by and by?
So
Oh,
burp.
gosh.
Apologies. Bad GM.
It's all
GM.
good.
Okay. And so as that you kind of look at it and see, and it is essentially, as they show you, it's attached by 2 cables that kind of hold it in place in the water, and it will descend along one, bringing you down to what is called the moon pool, which allows you to sort of access the habitat underwater.
I definitely vote we take the cupola down to Bert.
What?
You just
How
wanted
are we
to say that,
thinking?
and I don't blame you. It's
Well, I
gotta
don't know
be
about you. Go ahead,
Go
Maeve,
ahead.
what were you saying?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's actually probably not something Maeve would know. Never mind.
Well, this has got to be real deep if it involves pressurization. I think, right, Robin? I seem to remember that. You got to go pretty deep before the pressure becomes a thing when you're coming back up, right?
You want to do a roll for it?
Who, me?
Oh.
Yeah. Give me an advantaged.
All
history.
I remember is what James Cameron taught me.
Oh boy.
Advantage. What was that? What was that check?
It could be history. It could be
So that's a 17.
a 17. Not really. You kind of need to deal with pressure about every 10 feet. So depending on how far down this thing is, it doesn't have to be all that deep for you to have to deal with pressure.
Oh,
People don't dive super deep.
yes,
Mhm.
Ned. Just think about all the pressure of the water on top of you. It doesn't take much. You know?
I mean, it's also going to be super cold.
Oh yeah,
It's
but
cold.
that's
That's why
that-
it's cold.
Well,
why the
Robin,
gondola.
well,
It's
Robin
not the
can
ascent that
remind
kills
you.
you. Instant speed.
There you go. And Robin can tell you, though, of course, basic science would say that it's probably warmer in the water than the air.
That
Is that true?
it is. It takes much longer for water to cool down than air.
So
Especially
wait, if
south
you're
Florida.
surface is
freezing
cool.
to death out in the wild, Miss Robin, you jump in the water?
I wouldn't suggest that because you eventually have to get out of the water.
Oh.
We've already experienced that, and that's not a viable strategy, Silas.
I wonder if
can-
there's any wetsuits on this train.
That's a really good question. I don't think there'd be one to fit me.
Well, I can make something work.
Wetsuit capri
This
pants.
is true.
When we were going through all of this,
Oh, only your torso gets
Let's get drift.
the rest is fine.
just like a couple arms, you just get the shoulder swim things. Do we remember seeing any swim gear on the train?
When we were
You do
supposed to go
not.
on a whale watch.
Yes.
That's the only thing they talked about us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Talked about with us.
Oh.
Your
We
excursion
never
was a whale
had-
watching.
Any underwater cities or bio bubbles or
Yeah.
Water cities.
I mean, I bet they've got like a pool house or
shipwrecks.
something, right?
Can we talk about the shipwreck for a second?
Yes, please.
Yes, sure.
So I wonder, did they name Burp after the Polaris, or was that just a coincidence that they're
Borealis.
using?
Sorry.
Well,
So the ship is Polaris. The underwater habitat is the Borealis. Apologies for my close.
but don't you find it interesting that both of those things are like star related?
That's true.
I don't know if it means anything, but it's kind of cool.
I
I've
wonder
never
what it
seen the
means.
Aurora Borealis. I've always wanted to see that too. I've never been far
Oh.
enough north.
Lovely.
We
I'll
should do
take
all
you one
three.
day.
Like at least 2 of these, like the shipwreck and the BioShock place. Like we absolutely should do at least those. Wait, what was the third one? Because it might be really cool too, but I can't remember it.
The first was the
National
whale
Whale
watching.
Whale watching
Yeah.
and
Well, yeah,
the
that's
narwhals
cool.
and-
The unicorns of the sea. I mean, like, man, we
mean-
got to do all 3 of these things.
Well,
Huh? I wonder if like one is like choose door 1, choose door 3, and one of them's like really bad, and the next one's really fine.
The
and we're
shard's
choose
going to
door
be in the
I can tell
last
you
place
this,
we look
behind
regardless.
each door is something bad. It's just, with our luck, each one is going to be bad.
You take that back, Maeve. Don't talk about narwhals like that.
Also,
I didn't say specifically the narwhals, but do we know, speaking of all of those creatures,
Yes.
does anyone know anything about nature, about sea creatures,
Not a thing.
birds?
that book, I'll pull that book
No
out
one
of.
else wanted to be
Yeah.
a marine biologist when they grew up.
No,
It's
but
like
I
the
suddenly.
most common childhood career aspiration.
that's true.
Yeah.
not when I was a child, but apparently now that I'm an adult, I'll pull the book out of my bag
Yes.
that is the one I found on the train. That's all the local wildlife. Does it have like an aquatic section?
It does.
Nice.
What would you like to look up?
What would you like to know? I have aquatic for beginners here.
Well, do we want to start with the birds, since they seem to be local
The
and
ki-
less?
The Kitawaki.
Yeah, the Kitawake.
Mhm.
Can I index the Kitawake in the book and find them?
Yeah, you find the Kitawake. They're an Arctic bird. They're one of the few sort of way north birds that nests on cliffs, cliff sides. They are fragrant. Uh, but yeah, there's very few birds that sort of travel this far north and then can travel around. So this is pretty cool actually that there's other than
Oh.
things you can find along the area.
I'll relay all
Well,
that. Yeah.
I own a bird, but I know Frederick. I don't really know anything about any other kind of bird. Maybe a New York pigeon, but that's as best as I can do.
Yeah, most of mine's going to come from the comic characters they inspired when it comes to animals. So
I'm going to quickly flip. Do I find anything about the giant octopus?
The giant octopus, yes. So giant octopuses, they're very, very rare to spot. They don't generally, come up from the depth very often, but that is why in Arctic waters, because it is cold, you may see them more often a little bit higher, closer to the surface. They can grow to 10 meters or 30 feet in size.
And they're so smart.
And they're very intelligent, yes.
And they could probably still squeeze through like a pinhole or something.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
I saw a video once where they untwisted their own jar. Well, not the giant ones. It was a smaller one. But
I heard about
That'd be
one.
a big jar.
I heard about one that broke out of the aquarium and just left. That just got out of the. Yeah, it was on the coast somewhere on the west coast, and it just broke out of the aquarium and said bye and left. And like the only reason
this one.
I don't know. But the only reason
Jen
I
will
don't
hand
know.
on head out of character. It wasn't a giant octopus that did that, but that definitely did happen. It was what aquarium? It
was in
Notre Dame.
Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Yeah, full on just noped out of there.
The only reason they know about it is because they caught it on security cameras.
Yeah.
They're smart as all get out. Like they're amazing.
Well, you
I'm
guys
gonna
should
put my
know.
marine biologist nerd hat away, and I'm sure it will come out again. But I will do my best to keep that under wraps because Maeve doesn't know this.
People like to think that octopi are just so different from us and that they're alien-like creature, but you have to remember that they're actually 1% difference in DNA than a human.
Maybe
And that
means
makes them some of the most different on the planet.
Maybe that'll mean changing into one is really easy.
Oh, if we come up against a giant kraken octopi or something, I just
A cracktopie?
I
believe
believe
that would taste good.
Which one of these things are we going to do first?
Well, we can start with the easiest and go whale watching, but I don't know how that will help us find a shard unless the whale just kind of comes up and gives it to us.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Neb can just ask them nicely.
Yeah.
Oh, if we see one, I'm gonna lean over, like not far over, but
Right.
down where the beach is. Is there anything on the beach?
As you look down onto this beach down at the bottom, the main thing you notice is that sort of way off to the side, there is a bit of a pier that jets out into the water. There is a really pretty nice looking big sized boat at the end of this pier.
A boat.
There it is.
Oh, and on the other side, you see a pretty good looking shed. I mean, I'm calling it a shed, but it's insulated. It's got a
It's
good
the
strong
pool house.
door on it. It's like a utility shed, like a proper utility shed.
Well, I think we start with
Wetsuits.
the shed and the boat, and go
Okay.
from there.
Yes.
And
Sounds
maybe
like a
there are
plan.
enough like wetsuits for Fairuza to use like 2 of them.
One for the top, one for the bottom.
Maybe it's stretchy. I'll just wrap it around myself and hope for the best. Oh,
All right.
boy.
Sounds like we have a plan.
I mean,
Well, the
so
shed first?
seriously, we should, let's go to the shed because we need to get wetsuits on if they're there. Because
Yeah.
even if we get on the boat, we know somebody's falling off.
We do.
Don't look at Neb like that.
I mean, or look at me. I mean, I'm not
What's the
going to
problem?
deny it, but I'm going to try to not. I would hope you'd have a little more faith in me.
I have plenty of faith in us. I just don't have faith in our circumstances.
Well, we've made it this far, so I'm going to keep on going. How does the how does the path look on down? You said it's
So,
wide enough, or is it
It's
dangerous?
narrow. you know, it's probably 1.5 feet wide, something like that. It's basically kind of cut right into the side of the cliff, and it switches back. So you go one way and then you turn and you go down back the other way. It's like a zigzag heading down the side of this cliff. It is walkable. There are birds roosting on it. But it is clearly meant to be traversed, but carefully. But it is the only way down, as far as you can see.
All right.
Well, I mean, I'm anxious to find this shard, especially since we were told that we were children. We were all children of. We're children of Éarte.
Éarte?
Again, all of us. I'm interested to find out more about what that means.
Do we know
if
how
that
to
means,
spell it?
Oh, I don't know anything, Silas. I can guess.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a question we want to reserve for Ivy. I think that's incidental at this point. We probably have better questions.
Documentation for posteriors. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but until we're told otherwise, at this point, we're the only one who knows. So however we spell it is correct, right?
That's true.
True.
All right, so one quick thing. If we're going to traverse the precarious death trap of going down to the pool house, let's try to stay together, because if anybody falls and if multiple people fall at the same time, then if you're spread out, it's going to be very difficult for me to try to catch you with my mind.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Silas in the middle.
Yes.
Yes, good idea. Okay.
All right, so single file starting to walk down these switchbacks. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. And Neb starts.
Cool.
Let's
Great.
start.
Are any
Okay.
of you considered mechanically larger than medium?
No, I'm not large unless I'm raging.
All right, fantastic.
Calm down, Fairuza.
Happy.
Breathing.
Fantastic.
The sun's getting real low.
So right, you begin your single file walk down the side of this cliff. Pretty quickly, you find your footing. It's you'd have to really be fooling around to fall off the edge of this thing. It is more a don't look down kind of situation. And as you make your first sort of switchback coming through, you come across your first obstacle, which is 3 Kitawake just sitting there, happy as can be. They've built quite an elaborate nest of twigs and fluff and fur and things that they've found on this particular part of the path, and it blocks your way.
So, hey, hold on. I might can scare them away, and I'm going
We'll
to
be gentle about it.
yeah, absolutely. They just need to get out of our way. And I'm going to create the image of an osprey swooping down and landing next to them, and it's just gonna, do a call. And Silas has no clue what an osprey actually sounds like, so it's just gonna be, rah! Like something really, really bad but loud.
Yeah, I mean, they immediately they back up rather than like getting up and flying away. They sort of stand and there you see the shoulder blades of their wings kind of heighten up as they
Uh-oh.
Do I see eggs in the nest?
you do.
Oh, there's
They
babies
begin to kind of
there.
posture against this image that you have created.
The problem
Yeah,
is
that's
if
a
we
problem.
move the eggs, the mom and dad won't ever touch them again. At least that's what I used to hear when I was a kid. Like,
Well, what about
did you ever hear that?
your
I can move it with my mind, but like, would the birds know that that's what is happening? I don't know.
Is
If
there
you move
any
the
space
whole
to get around it?
nest-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yours is more important. It should have been
Was
the
there
first
anything
question.
on? Is there room to get around it on the path?
There is not. They've
not at all.
really taken up that
Yeah.
whole space.
I mean, I can try to talk to them, but there's only so many times that I can talk to a bunch of animals, and I have this weird feeling like I want to talk to a lot of things. So, I mean, if we think we can get past this without breaking any eggs, I would. That'd be cool.
Let me try one other thing here. I'm just going to try this because I don't know what they're going to do. And then you're going to see me wiggle my fingers just again, and now there is an illusion of no eggs in the nest. All it is doing is showing the image that nothing's there.
Just lay them down.
Um,
Okay, let's see. Good one though.
with that,
Now, if they touch it, I want to
Right.
be clear. If they touch
Yeah.
it, they will still feel them.
Or
Gotcha.
smell it, right?
Yeah, so they do fly up a little bit, sort of startled, and then flap down and kind of looking and bobbing up and down at this nest, nosing forward, trying to kind of get a sense of what this is. And you do hear their beak tap on the egg that is still there, but doesn't
As
appear.
soon as
They're
I do it, I just
confused,
release
though.
it.
They're
Yeah, I
quite
release it.
confused, but they don't seem quite like they want to leave the area.
I don't blame them. If I had little eggs I was protecting, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Is it eggs plural or one big egg?
Eggs,
Eggs
plural. Yeah,
And
so it's a nest.
Is it
Right.
3 nests? You said.
Yeah, basically 3 nests in a row. You know, each of them kind of huddled around in this. They've kind of joined next to each other.
Okay. Neb, I have a question. You were,
Yeah.
you seem to know pretty well that you can only turn into different creatures a certain amount of times a day. Is that how it works, or?
Well, I'm still kind of figuring it out. I feel like if I get enough rests, I can do it a lot, but I haven't quite
Okay.
figured out how many. Do you want me to try to turn into something?
How far down is this drop off?
Like how far down the cliff are you? Kind of thing?
Well, how much until we get to the ground?
Yeah, you've got a good ways to go. I'd say at least 60 to 80 feet to go. But you do see the switchback is only about 20 feet below you.
So listen, I just want to throw this out there for everyone. And I realize this is a massive leap of faith. But I am very confident that if we locked arms and jumped off this thing, we would land like a feather at the bottom of this. Like, I mean, I've done this before. I'm just saying we could sidestep all of this precarious. Now, I would also
Snub now
recommend.
turning into a lemming. Is that the new?
No, it's
I've never tried to turn
telekinesis.
into a lemming.
Like it's telekinesis, Kyle. And so like.
Oh, you think you
what
can
I'm saying
slow
is
us all down?
Yes, you would like a
Really?
feather. And all I'm saying is like we should absolutely get the climbing gear and like stick that in here because getting back up is going to be rough. I don't know if I can
see what
float
you
us
mean. I
up,
see what you mean.
but I'm just saying like maybe we can like anchor something to where if we had to, we
Hmm.
could climb back up like we did in the cave. But I'm pretty sure I can get us down very safely.
I'm
It's
gonna-
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So that's our idea, or it's moving their egg, or it's confronting them. Those are our options.
I think avoiding them is definitely the best option. And
Looking down through there, do we see any other pitfalls along our path? Like, can we see?
Oh yeah, you can see it's daytime. It's cloudy and a little blustery, but pretty very clear vision. There are just a lot of birds. There's a lot of birds, and I'd say the give me a quick perception check, Silas.
If you can do that, that'd
Yeah,
be
you
great.
got it.
It will be 0.
Cool. Looking down, you're like, yeah, there are birds in the way. Some of it's just like this oily, like probably their poop. It's slippery. You can see there are whole areas where if you weren't paying attention, you might just and slide right down this thing. It's not an easy path ahead.
Silas, do you think you can get us down safely? But the problem is getting back up.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, we have the climbing gear, right?
Yeah,
I think
have
we do.
2 left.
And so,
left,
like,
right?
if we spike that or whatever Miss Robin called it, like up here, maybe we can let the rope down to help, or maybe we can climb down using the rope. And then the problem is if I'm concentrating on climbing, it's hard for me to concentrate on catching someone who falls off the rope. But if we do it intentionally, that is my purpose, and I think I can do it.
Intentionally jumping. I'm gonna kneel on down. And is everything on this path? Is it just like packed dirt?
It's rock. I mean, this is as if someone has come and like cut into this cliffside to create a ledge.
And how far down is the water again?
I mean, you're 60 to 80 feet.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because you guys are scattered along like this steep thing. So it's like, closer to 80 feet for the person up here, and closer to 60 for the person down here.
All right, yeah. We're just looking over the cliff. Okay.
You're all pressed up against the side of a cliff, that's just wide enough for your feet, basically. And as long as you're kind of holding onto the side and not looking down, you're okay. But there are lots of birds and lots of slippery, oily.
I mean, I realize that this is like a Jehovah is spelled in the Latin with an I kind of stuff, but like I really do think that I can do this.
I totally trust you, Silas, but I think you make a really good point about how do we get back up. I'm gonna put my hand on the stone, and just kind of start to scratch at it like I'm looking for handholds or something.
Okay.
And then I want to try to see if I can move some of it. And I'm just kind of pawing at it, and I'm trying to mold this earth, as it were.
You got it. This earth is moldable, as far as you can tell. It is rock, but it's, pieces of rock with stratuses, even as you look at it closer, a proper geologist could see that you can see different lines of the age of the cliffside. It's been eroded quite a bit because of wind and waves and things through different weather. So it's pretty crumbly, it's well packed, but in some of the places it seems to just kind of crumble beneath your fingers.
As I push my hand into it in a weirdly a natural way, and then I just pull some out and I try to make like a nice handhold.
Oh, you're trying to see if that might be a way. We just make a bunch of handholds and how. Okay.
I don't know. It just seemed like clay. Let me see if I can do some more. And I'm just gonna very slowly, and eventually try it without even touching the stone, and just kind of push my thoughts into it. And then you just hear this as a little bit of stone comes out and turns into this nice, like a rock wall handhold.
Wow. Whoa, Neb?
That's incredible.
All right, so Silas gets us down and I can get us back up.
I love it. Let's do it.
I can give us handholds to get back up. Y'all are still gonna have to do a little bit of climbing, but I can give really big handholds.
We have some experience with that.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Are we jumping to the bottom of this?
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I don't
Of course, we'll just have some broken legs and all.
No. It's going to be light as a feather.
We're jumping off a cliff.
We are jumping. We are locking. I say lock hands just in case. Like there's nothing going to go wrong, but just in case.
Right.
Like
I trust you, Silas.
And then Silas is going to put his hands out.
Yes.
All right. We're all going to link arms.
Or we got to do this at the same time, or otherwise this is going to look like a weird, like, those like monkeys that you used to hook together.
Barrel of monkeys. Barrel. Yeah.
Barrel of monkeys. Yes, we do not want the barrel of monkeys happening. So here's the thing: we're going to do it on 3. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and on 3. Like when I say 3, not 1, 2, 3, go. On 3, we're going to.
Okay.
Everybody ready?
2, jump.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Everyone jumps in the air. You feel gravity just grab you. Your stomach flies up into your gut like you're on a roller coaster as you begin to feel completely powerless, out of control. Your body giving into gravity and falling. Silas.
As a reaction, I am going to use my telekinetic
He's got nothing.
net. Yeah, it's like, I didn't prepare that spell. No, I don't work that way. So I'm going to use my telekinetic net that is going to up to 5 people. We will slowly descend to the ground at 60 feet per round, but it lasts a minute.
Gotcha.
So I don't think we'll get there in 1 round. And then as that starts and as we slow down a little bit after that, you hear Silas. He still locks arms, but he's like, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all," and then just keeps like floating down.
Yeah.
I'll
As
just
it's-
get you an apron and an umbrella and a skirt. Maybe a handbag.
Yeah, carpet
Just a
bag.
spoonful of sugar helps the medicine.
Either that or this is Willy Wonka. I'm excited for both.
As your bodies adjust to suddenly being cradled, as you sort of float down this very unnatural feeling of being connected to nothing. There is nothing holding you, and yet you are slowly floating, light as a feather, till your toes touch the pebble beach beneath your feet.
Silas.
We'll go back and do it again.
Thank you for flying Air Jordan.
Do it again. Can we do it again?
I mean, we're
Please watch
probably
your
gonna have
step
to do
when exiting the aircraft.
Oh no. Perfect. I think you broke Jen.
That was amazing, Silas.
That was indeed very helpful.
And super fun. But it was super fun because
Wow.
we all did it on purpose. I'm sure if someone falls
If
and
it
you
was
have
an
to do that,
accident,
it'll
it would
be
be a harrowing experience. Yes.
yeah. But it's reassuring to know that you can do that.
And all these birds are completely okay, and their little families are completely fine.
And I'll walk back over to the cliff wall and just kind of as an experiment, put my hand on the wall and then reach on in and then just pull out some of the rock and make
Yeah.
a nice handhold with a little
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
and
Okay.
and then do another one about, a good handhold up.
It's gorgeous.
I can get us up. Well, I can give us handholds up.
Nice. This is good.
And we're all
We're
set.
getting better.
On to the
Until
pool
the
house.
storm
Yes.
hits.
You are
Which, on that note, I
Yes.
was thinking, does it make sense to save a place for later where we'll be exposed or where we can either be deep under the water or in a shed perhaps
Well,
and do whatever we might need to do outdoors before?
How sturdy is this pool house?
You gonna
Yeah,
go
let's
over and
go.
look at it?
yeah, let's go check out the shed and see if it's storm worthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You walk down towards this utility shed. Now, this pebble beach is wet. It's very cold, and most of it is sort of frozen beneath your feet. There's quite a bit of snow here. This is where it's sort of banked up, and some of the water has frozen closer to the shore. As you get closer to this particular storage shed, you can see that not only is it a shed, but sort of built into the cliffside are a number of really large tanks up there. As you get over closer, it is a heavy utility door. It has a lock on it. There's no window in the door. But around on the ocean side, which you can't quite get to because of the snow and the ice and everything, you can make your way there, but you can't quite get to it. But you can see there is a window on that side looking out towards the ocean. But it looks big. It's concrete. It is, concrete and stucco and all that. It's quite secure looking.
I think we all just kind of, as soon as we know that the door is locked, just look at Maeve.
Mhm.
Well, I
You have no more hairpins left.
mean, I'll check the door first before
Yes.
I start picking locks to make sure it's actually locked.
We'd like to do an investigation check. I mean, it is locked. It's you try the handle
Okay.
and you recognize it as it's a serious lock.
All right, then I'm going. If it's all right, I'd
Yeah.
like to try and give the lock a shot.
Give me a lock picking check.
23.
Man, you roll so good on those. Yeah, it's hard. It does take you a little bit of time and a little bit of finesse. This has got quite a few more tumblers than you're used to, but you just keep at it slow and steady and are able to click this heavy duty lock. As it goes, you place your hand on the handle and pull the door, which is quite heavy and clearly insulated. It's clearly got all kinds of weather stripping and make sure that it really shuts airtight.
Maeve, that is incredible. I wish I'd had you on all those jobs back in the day.
Lots of practice picking.
Marion always made a mess of it all the time.
How do you make a mess of picking a lock? Is it just the hairpin breaks, or is there something else?
Yeah, stories for another time. No.
Okay.
Yeah, because one of these days I kind of want to know how Maeve knows how to pick all these locks.
I've already said I grew up on army bases. Lots of places you're not supposed to go. Lots of free time.
And YouTube.
That's right.
Eventually, yeah.
Okay, you open this door. Looking inside, it is a control room. You see computers, you see gauges. There is a, one sort of comfy office looking chair that you can sit at in front of all of these gauges, and it looks out onto the ocean, and you can see bobbing in the ocean a good ways offshore there. This diver's gondola can be observed from this location.
How far out is the gondola? How far out is?
A good 500 feet at least.
Okay.
Offshore.
I'm gonna take a really good look around. The door had a lot of weathering or weatherproofing. Does the rest of the shed look like it could withstand a storm?
Yeah, it's warm. It's small. This is only like if a 10 by 10 foot kind of room. It's really a one person desk and control center. You want to give me an investigation check?
Sure. I'll also let you roll that if you don't mind. I have a
Yeah,
plus
I love
5.
it. Great. So looking around, you can see there are gauges for oxygen levels, pressurization, atmospheres. You see levels for water levels, fresh water levels. You see basically what you are interpreting to be just maintenance and observation of the sea lab of the Borealis of Burp, basically out there. And there are all kinds of levers and gears that basically are on and off switches that start getting that stuff up and running. This looks like this is command central.
Do we think that means that somebody has to stay up here and run things while we look at Rapture down there? Or do we think that we just set it and forget it and then go down there?
Well, we can experiment with it a little bit and see exactly what everything
Start
does.
pushing buttons, yeah.
Fairuza sits in the chair.
Okay, Fairuza.
Looks at the controls, or are there any drawers to pull out?
There are some drawers under the desk.
Just pull them out.
You pull them out. You find what you're pretty sure is a engineering plan of the sea lab, as well as all of the cables and connections that make their way down there.
Is there a user manual?
I think that is the user manual.
Essentially, this is a complex, engineering manual for this underwater habitat.
Oh, well.
Well,
So how much
Maeve
time do I
became
have
an
to learn
expert on
this?
the train. Who's becoming an expert on the sea lab?
I
Not
can
it.
do it.
Okay.
I'm an expert on Miss Robin's life story, so that's what I call it.
Writing the official biography.
I mean, if we ever make it out of here.
Do I see anywhere?
Now that's the optimistic Silas we know about.
Absolutely. Do I see anywhere with controlling the little diver thing that, because you said it's 500 feet out in the ocean, do I see the way to control it to get it onto shore, onto somewhere near this building? Yeah, somewhere where we don't necessarily have to swim out to it. Or do we have to swim out to it?
You do not see anything along those lines. If anything, you're thinking a boat is probably what takes you out there. That the diver's gondola, for it to work, can't be that mobile. It has to kind of follow the cable and sort of stay where it is.
Okay.
And the waves, especially with the wind and the storm coming in, it's getting, these are some waves down here. This is not a very big beach. You can see, anything kind of here is going to start, it's going to start being kind of dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
Well,
I actually now that
Go
we're
ahead.
here, I don't really expect to find any wetsuits. I don't think they're going to expect the scientists to swim out there every time they had to go out there, right?
Quite possibly.
They might be
know.
keeping him on a boat.
That's true.
I mean, they might have been prepared for a giant octopus to attack the station at some point. They need emergencies wetsuits somewhere.
Anything behind you? Do you see like a hidden door or anything, Silas, back there? I'm assuming you're back somewhere. I have no idea where you are.
I mean, if all 5 of you are crowded into this little room,
Yeah.
you know, you're all elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, trying to check it out.
Well, this place, it's cramped, but if we needed to retreat to here, we'd probably be okay. Do you want to go check out the boat and see what's going on with the boat, and then we can all be on a boat?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
You don't have much time.
Heading back out of this little room, you shut the door behind you, and you can hear the sort of suction of it as it closes, sort of preserving everything inside. Down at the other end of the beach is where that little pier is. You walk over to it. You can see that the pier is on buoys with sort of a rope bridge that attaches to it, so that if it were to rise and the sea level get higher, the whole pier would sort of float up with it. Right now, it's, you know, kind of undulating in these sort of larger waves that are starting to come in. So, you know, it's a little bit of a ride as you stand at the foot of this pier and look down it to see this really pretty high tech, cool looking boat moored at the end of it.
How big
It's
of
a
boat?
motorized boat? Like a motorboat?
It is motorboat.
Okay, good. I was gonna say.
Yeah, like a really nice like motorized fisherman's boat.
Okay.
Does it look big enough to hold all of us?
Certainly does.
Okay.
Oh.
So are we talking like a with a I'm gonna not words well.
cabin or anything in it? Like
Yeah,
that
is
kinda
there a
thing?
cabin to it, or are we talking like just a little
A boat with an engine
like
on the back.
a rowboat with an engine?
Right.
Kind of.
No, not a rowboat with an engine. It's definitely got you know, it doesn't have an a enclosed cabin, but there's a roof.
Okay.
You know, the sides come up. There are seats. You know, from this distance, you know, unless you're walking down the pier, which you got to let me know if you do that. But from this distance, you know, it's like 30 feet out there. You can see it's a proper like open ocean fisherman's.
Is it like a
vessel.
bond boat or more of like just I'm going out on a Sunday boat?
Fishing.
Some money was put into it. It's
Okay.
not falling apart. It's, you know, it's not a millionaire. It's not a yacht. But
At a yacht.
it looks seaworthy. It looks strong. But it is not for overnight trips. This is not, you know, this is a go out, fish, and come back kind of a vessel.
This is
Or
the
a
big
whale
research
watching
vessel.
Yeah,
a research vessel, a whale watching vessel.
Ooh,
This
it might
is-
have a glass bottom.
Only one way to find out.
I mean, although that would be a little weird in Blackwater Bay. Like this water is like super dark.
It is.
So I don't know if the
Yeah.
glass bottom would actually be very useful.
There might
I guess
be
we can see.
yeah,
It's
there might
really
be
scary.
lights under the boat to illuminate whatever is there, and
Yeah,
I'll
that
start
makes
walking down the
sense.
pier to go look at the boat.
All right. As soon as you step onto this pier and it starts to undulate in the waves, I'd like a
Oh.
dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh.
I didn't.
Or a
think
dexterity
that-
check. I'm sorry. We can do an acrobatics dexterity check.
None of those are
okay.
better, but
None of
here we
those are
go.
better. Okay.
Okay. Acrobatics or dex?
Oh dear.
Neb,
Dear.
Poor Neb.
No. What?
So I rolled a natural 1 with my dexterity gives me a 0, which yeah, I think Neb goes to step on it and has that moment of I don't know if I get seasick and gets distracted by that thought.
Yes. As soon as your foot hits it, a huge wave rolls in underneath, just popping this thing instantly, like 3 feet up in the air, throwing you into the air as you sort of fly, falling into the icy water right next to it. You land on the ice, which it begins to crack beneath you. Immediately, you sink into that water, feeling that freezing cold that you are now so familiar
Is she within reach if one of us goes out there?
You can go
Or-
get her. Yes.
Yeah,
she's
okay.
you know,
Silas goes.
10 feet from you.
I'm
All right,
gonna
Silas. ahead.
I'm gonna frantically in the cold, like the last time I turned into a wolf,
Yes.
and that is not gonna help here. It's not gonna help here. Do I remember any of the creatures in the book that I was reading, or in the thing up top? And there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something.
Depends what you can do. I mean, you just saw some Kitawake. You're pretty sure they're fairly well insulated to the Arctic.
Yeah, but flying
No?
still feels
Okay,
weird.
that's
Flying
really
still
hard
feel weird.
still.
Yeah, I'm looking for. Well, so were there any small animals
Yes.
in the book that like seaworthy animals, like
Cold.
eel, seahorses, or
Otters, sea
Yeah,
otters.
like there could be sea otters. There might have been some fur seals, some like
You
Arctic
otter do
fur
an otter.
seals.
Yeah. I'm gonna. The seal sounded real cute, sure,
Okay.
and I'm gonna picture in my mind a seal, and it's probably a little cartoonish because I've only ever seen pictures of them.
Yes.
And I'm gonna try to turn into a seal.
All right. Just as you can feel the cold damage beginning to try to work its way into you, you snap into this really adorable fur seal. I imagine your fur has a little bit of a bluish tint to it, maybe, or
I think
the eyes.
Yes.
I think it's a gray-white, like a
Okay.
normal colored
Okay.
seal, but once again, yeah, the eyes
The
are very
eyes.
definitely neb, and there's an awkward moment in the water.
Here's what I imagine. Neb slides under the water out of sight, and this little blue-eyed seal head pops back up and looks at you all.
I'm
I'm
adorable,
imagining.
which is
I think that's her.
Does it have googly eyes? Because you said it was cartoonish.
I
I'm
see
like terrifying
bluish
vision of this like.
fur a little bit.
Oh,
I'm not sure if I should dive into the frigid water and possibly harm myself. Okay, the seal is shaking its head now, and so
That's Neb.
I'm going to
It's
go out
Neb.
on a limb and say it's Neb.
As
I'm
the
gonna do the
seal-
thing that I've
yeah.
heard that seals and creatures will do if they're at like SeaWorld, and try to put one of my fins on top of on top of like the pier or
Yeah.
ice or something and just start slapping.
So yeah, you know now that with the seal you're a little lighter, you can disperse your weight better. You can actually slide on top of that ice, and it's not cracking any longer under this weight. You can slide yourself up on that pier, and you start to feel like the undulations of the waves and all of this. You have like a weird second, sixth sense about when it's going to come. It's almost like you can read the waves, and your body with its lower center of gravity just kind of rolls with it on this pier.
I wish we could all turn into seals.
No. I mean,
Neb is
gets
just furiously
destroyed a
thinking,
lot,
"This
but-
is so amazing. This is the best thing ever." And in an hour or two, when I have to turn back into a wet human, it's gonna suck. But for now, it's amazing. And then all you hear coming out of her mouth is or whatever seal sounds like.
Hey,
What
hey,
is she
Silas.
trying to say to us?
Silas, hey, Silas, I've got a name for our group. We'll be SEAL Team 5.
I like it.
Oh.
I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, Mark.
Oh my god.
I
So
think
yeah,
that's what
all
she
I'm
was
gonna.
singing.
And I'm just looking at all of you, just
Yeah.
bobbing in the water because I don't want to turn back yet.
Yeah.
I
guess the rest of us are getting in the boat.
Neb, if you can understand us, maybe go out to the boat and then report back while we're safely in the warm place right here.
I don't like the idea of Neb going by herself.
I mean, she was about to do it anyway, but yeah, okay, Miss Rob.
I'll go with her if you want to stay.
I'll go. It's okay. I got it. Unless you want to go.
I kind of do want to go.
Okay.
Don't worry,
We'll
Simon.
be lookout.
All right, sounds
It
good.
seems less likely that a seal would get any trouble here than a seal plus a human.
Unless the octopus comes up and eats the seal.
Oh, I
I
don't,
don't
think.
find that particularly likely.
I start looking for giant octopus.
If we
Suddenly,
see
I'm a little worried
tentacles.
about this.
It's
is-
more likely to be the whales. They love to eat shark.
I'm looking for whales.
It is very dark water. Do you go underneath, Neb?
I would poke my head under.
Advantage perception check, please.
So I could, yeah.
Wait, do whales eat seals?
Oh yeah, killer whale.
I thought
Yeah.
they were like
Orcas, certainly.
vegetarians.
I do. So this creature, seals have dark vision. Okay,
Great.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, perception check.
Advantage perception.
Let's see what we got. That's a 16.
A 16. You get down there, you find that not only can you see pretty good in this environment, but again, there's something, whether you're smelling it in the water, feeling it along your fur, the currents, it's almost like your skin can taste a little bit of what's in this water. You know, this is quite a thriving ecosystem. You can't see a ton up close. You're still quite close to shore. But it's, you don't see any kind of danger or anything right here near you, but you can feel that the ocean is alive.
I'll come back up real quick, and I feel a little bit better, but I think if Miss Robin is going to make her way along the pier, I'm going to skim along on top nearby just in case.
Okay. Robin, are you planning on going?
I am.
All right, acrobatics check to step on this wildly undulating pier.
14.
A 14, okay. You
Better
take
than
a
a
step
0.
on. You're a little uneasy as you, step out on there, but you're able to kind of hold your arms out and balance yourself as you step slowly, trying to anticipate the waves and make your way out to the end with Neb sort of swimming alongside you when you make it to this boat, which is held to the edge of this pier, with ropes wrapped around a couple of good anchor points. And you see it is a really nice, very functional boat. There are good seats, bench seats along the side. You can see life preservers. You can see jackets like ponchos, rain jackets, that kind of equipment stowed in one area. You see binoculars. You see underwater camera equipment that is sort of fixed up within the boat. It's a nice, again, like a pretty high-end fishing boat. No glass bottom.
Robin's just gonna kind of poke her head out towards them and just kind of give 2 thumbs up.
Does that mean to follow her there, or is she saying everything's okay?
They're only 30 feet away. They could probably hear it.
Yes, Silas.
Oh, I didn't realize you were that close.
Yeah, we'll go.
The wind is pretty loud and strong, so
It's
you
like
could be
Silas
forgiven.
starts yelling through the wind, and then it stops for a second,
Yeah.
and then he's like way too loud. So it didn't look too treacherous. Were you okay?
All good. I've got very good grip on my rain boots.
So since we know that there's a boat, like, do we know how to turn on the boat before we all come over there? Are we getting in the boat? Is that our first step here?
I think so. We don't have time to waste.
Robin is going to go in and double check that there's like fuel. She'll actually try to turn on the boat.
Okay, great. Yeah, you come in there. There's like a key operating for the boat, and there you don't see a key anywhere, but there is like a keyhole.
I'll yell back at Silas. We need a key.
On it. And then Silas is gonna go across the walkway and try to make his way.
All right. Yeah, acrobatics check, please.
Oh my
I'm gonna,
God.
as I see that people are coming across,
Yes.
I'll swim back
You
and
chaperone a
follow.
little.
Yeah, like
Oh,
I'm not sure if there's anything I can do if someone falls in the water.
I
except maybe give
want-
them buoyancy.
I want to hold the seal's flipper if I can.
Yeah.
Are you begging for
Possible.
advantage? Is that what we're doing?
Well, no. I rolled a 17.
Oh,
I think
okay,
I'm
I
okay.
see.
But
Yeah, you're okay.
No, this is just flavor.
Just flavor fun.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Silas holds his hand out for you, Neb.
Yes. And then
As
I
you
just
sort of-
lightly swing it as
Oh
I.
Yeah.
my God, Robin like pokes out with her Polaroid and just.
I was going to say, you have to get
Moment.
pictures.
It's adorable.
It's adorable, although I'm sure it's a little awkward for the seal.
He's like hunched over a lot.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like the moving is a little weird, but it's too much fun to stop.
Definitely. You make your way slowly but safely, again, anticipating the waves, and make your way down to the boat, where you can, holding on to the edge, hop down into it.
All right, you have the key.
I don't have the key, but I think if I think about it really hard, I probably can make it.
Okay.
What?
I mean, there's also probably a key back in the shed.
I mean,
but
let's
write
look
it.
for that
Say, oh,
first.
wait.
But I think I can maybe make one.
You know, I'm here for you. Whatever you need.
Let's look first. And then Silas is going to start opening drawers,
Okay.
doors, cabinets.
Let's do an investigation check for you, Silas.
I
I'll
would love
help.
it if you did
You
that.
got it.
Silas, and it is going to be a +4.
Silas, you've been mostly a land thief.
So,
A land thief.
Silas just pocketing lands.
Hundreds.
You have not done much
Continents.
thieving at
Sky
sea. Any
Real
illusions
estate
of being a
tycoon.
pirate were lost long ago. You're not quite sure how boats are stored, where things are. Boats are sort of like submarines and like things like that. They've got tricky storage. Things are hidden well underneath in little nooks and crannies, and you're not quite sure where to start.
Miss Robin, I don't really know. Like, I'm at a loss. I'm normally just a land thief. As a water thief, I really suck. So
Sky
I don't
thief.
know what it is.
Name of the
I
episode.
may have
right
to
there.
create it out of thin air.
as
Land thief.
Yeah,
Yep.
usually a
Silas the
land
land thief.
It's
Sounds
it's
like a
all good.
class.
Let me
Just have
help
this
you.
image of Silas with a globe, just like cutting out with an X-Acto knife and pocketing continents.
College of the Land Thief.
He's a college of the land
Opposed to a
thief.
space thief.
Space
Oh my
thief.
god, that's classic.
Oh, no.
Oh god.
Robin's gonna take a look at it.
All right, Robin, you can do an investigation. You'll be slightly disadvantaged, though, on this because
Yeah,
we have not
Silas
changed our
can't help her
circumstances
because his
yet.
skills are limited to land.
Okay, so this is a disadvantage.
This is disadvantage investigation.
Come on. Oh, where's my dice? Go.
Unless you'd like to change your circumstances in some way.
Oh, great. Oh, it's an 8.
It's an 8. Yeah, you too.
I was
You're a land grandmother.
And Granny.
A land mother.
Land granny.
Well, this adventure's been short.
It's also like it's a pretty spare boat, right? Like this is a day trip boat. This isn't a place where people are storing lots of things for, they don't need food, they don't need fresh water, they don't, they bring a cooler on, so this doesn't seem
Silas
like...
is running out to the edge now before anybody else crosses. And then he's like, hey, Maeve or Fairuza,
What?
would you kindly look for a key somewhere in there because there is not a key on this boat.
Oh, okay. And Cruz just looks at Maeve. Let's go back and see if there's
As
one
a
under the-
backup, I think that I can make one out of thin air, but we don't want to go there as a first option.
Have you ever made
Why
this
not?
before? Yelling. Why?
Also, just gonna
It's my
say,
energy. I can't just spend my energy. We have giant octopi that we're going
That I can understand.
Lauren really appreciates that. Would you kindly? Thank you very much, Adam.
Kind.
All right.
And yes, may we go to the shed?
Back
We'll
to
go
the
back
shed.
to the shed and
Yes.
start looking around.
Yeah, okay. We can do an advantage
frame.
investigation, or you can do a helping investigation where we add both of your bonuses.
Okay.
Yeah, want to add up some bonuses?
I got a minus
Sure.
one for you.
Minus one.
I'm a +3, so
Okay.
maybe we don't add our
Maybe we
bonuses
don't
and I
help.
just skip
Maybe
take the
take an
advantage
advantage
instead.
one. Yeah. Because you know what you're looking for.
First one is a 22.
Okay, pretty
Second
good. Try
one
again.
is not as good.
All right, a 22. With a 22, you kind of tear this place apart. But like the boat, it's not super hidey hole, right? Like there's drawers, there's a clipboard, there's, and you're not finding a boat key.
What? It's got to be here somewhere.
In fact, I'll offer this. You do find information about a research boat, but the information that you find doesn't match the boat that's on the pier out there. Whatever boat this research lab uses, it's not the one on the pier, which leads you to believe this is the whale watching boat, that this is actually belongs to the museum, to the Starlight Express.
Oh, it was for the trip. It's not for the lab.
So is the
So then,
what?
Let's think, Maeve. We're smart. We're two smart people. Where would you logically put a key for a boat? In the boat?
I mean, in a car, you sometimes put it under the wheel well. What would the boating equivalent be? Or we
Hey,
could
did
just
you
try
find
not
one?
fire it.
And Fairuza's gonna walk out the door to the pier and say, "We're not finding a key. You're sure there's nothing on the boat?"
I mean,
Sure.
I'm just a simple land thief, but I don't think that there's anything on the boat. Again, I believe that I can create things with my mind, and so I might get lucky. And we can try that as long as you're all going to defend me if the giant octopus attacks us.
Why
Every
would an
time-
octopus attack us?
Every time Silas mentions a giant octopus, Neb is going, she's been like circling the boat, having fun learning about being a seal. And then
Yes.
every time he says that, she stops and looks for a giant octopus.
Okay.
And with more and more concern.
Yes. Yes.
And does Silas pick up on that at all?
I'm
about
not
the seal
hiding
being-
it.
So if Silas just said, "Oh no, I mean, I'm sure that octopuses don't eat seals. I'm sure they would rather have humans. We are much, much more of a morsel. So as long as you're a seal, you're probably fine."
What happens if you get the key thing wrong? Nothing?
Well, yeah, we would be in the
You
same
break it.
situation that we're currently in.
Do you
Alright,
think the key is on the train?
Oh wow!
Oh.
I'm not going back to check on the train. And Silas is going to walk forward, and
Yeah.
I am going to attempt
Okay.
to think really hard about a key for this boat. And I'm trying to think back to my days of how tumblers work
Mm-hmm.
and how, all that goes, and trying to be as skeletal with what I produce as I can.
Great. In order to do this, we'll meta step back here a tad. Silas, I'm going to need you to actually investigate this keyhole, and with
Okay.
whatever you have, if you have pen lights, if you have whatever it is, to try and get as clear a vision of what you think the inside of this thing looks like, before you can attempt to create something that could have even the chance of working.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Totally fine.
I'm going to roll this investigation for you. Do you want to try to advantage it in some way? Do you have any way to make it?
I do have a magnifying glass in my pack, if that helps at all.
All
so I'm
right.
shining. I am going to actually touch the magnifying glass at the top of it, and
Yes.
it's going to shine a bright light
Okay,
from the magnifying glass, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to get very close. to it.
great. Do you have a lockpicking thieves tools kind of check?
Yes.
You do. Okay, let's take that one. What is your bonus?
It is. That is plus 5.
Okay. Go ahead. Cast
Oh,
your
yeah.
do your thing, and you're gonna try it, and you'll see if
I-
it works.
I'm going to try it. So I'm going to think really, really hard about this.
With the
And
information.
then I'm
that you
going to
gathered.
just be looking at my fingers.
Uh-huh.
And in my fingers appears a key.
A key. As it begins to form, you can see that it's not a very complex key. It's got a couple of little, teeth to it. But it appears to be an ignition key.
I'm going to try to jam it in there.
It slides in.
Turn.
Oh! We hear it.
As you hear it,
they must
the
bring out the
motor
key.
of this boat begins to kick into gear.
Silas.
No power in the verse can stop me.
He's gonna start using his powers for evil.
First key, and then he's gonna summon land.
And then I'm
Robin,
gonna steal
Your
it.
husband's stealing it,
Robin's
saving
gonna,
it for later.
Robin's gonna
Unpack the
step
bag,
her.
pull out the different continents.
Sorry, Robin, go ahead.
No, sorry. Robin's just gonna poke her head out and just be like, "All aboard!"
Let's go. So
All
we
right.
just make sure we close the door
Fairuza?
and seals.
Okay, yes,
There
you
we
guys
go.
have closed the utility shed, are running down the beach as you hear the, motor kick into gear. You can even see at the back, there's starting to be a little bit of churning of the water behind the motorboat. You're running down the pier.
Yes.
Fairuza, you
Maybe
go first.
walking down the
As
pier.
easily as we can because there's slippery poop on it.
Acrobatics checks.
Come back around to be safety seal again.
With, yes, safety
Oh,
seal.
yay.
So that's what a safety seal is. That's when the safety is for safety. They just mean Ned poking her head out going, hello, Flipper. 16.
A 16. Fairuza.
It's acrobatics.
It's acrobatics.
Ooh. 13.
Okay. I didn't make a face. Maeve, you pick your way carefully, moving across. You look pretty good, pretty steady on your feet. Fairuza, as you get up, it's one quick pull yourself back stable. You make your way across. It's a little precarious. There's a couple places where you have to really use those obliques that are coming in. But you make your way without falling into the water.
And without like hulking out because
And without hulking out. You have not hulked out. You make it to the boat where all of you can jump in this boat. You can see again, it is just, the rope is just wrapped around an anchor point at the end of this pier. And you can let yourself free. Silas, as you're looking at the controls, there appears to be just like quite similar to the train, really, like a forward and a neutral and a reverse and a wheel that changes the rudder. It's a pretty straightforward setup.
All right, listen. Like, do we have isn't there like an anchor or something? Do we need to unhook that? Because I
just
don't
a
wanna
rope
take the pier
here.
with us.
And I'll undo
Is
it.
it the
and
rope?
toss
All
the
right,
rope
Robin
in.
undoes the rope, throws it in the boat like a real nautical gal, now nautical granny. And Silas, you driving?
I'm gonna drive it like I stole it.
All right.
I'm gonna stay in the water and I'm
Okay.
gonna follow, but I'm gonna give the boat a wide berth
Okay.
because that's a spinning blade,
It
and
is.
so Neb is
Oh.
gonna stay. She's gonna try to stay like next to it, but
Yeah.
far enough away that if Silas decides to take a quick turn, that those blades aren't near me.
You got it. Silas, where are you going?
Yeah.
So before he goes really anywhere other
Yes.
than forward,
Yes.
he says, "So, Miss Robin, I just want to clarify. Do you think that this qualifies as me stealing a boat?
Oh, we're just
mean,
using it. We're
But
borrowing
it doesn't belong to us, and
Right,
I'm driving
but
it somewhere, right?
You're gonna
I'm
bring
just
it
saying,
back.
I'm trying to work on my resume,
Okay.
and when we get back, this
Shot.
way
I think
it will
it's shot.
ensure that I can add that as a skill on LinkedIn or something, right?
Absolutely.
Boat thief, sea thief.
Land
Ocean
and
thief.
water.
You might not want to put that on your
Well,
LinkedIn.
What I'm
Just-
saying is somebody will, write an endorsement for me, right? Because we all saw this happen, right?
You got it.
Excellent. All right, where
You
to,
want a
Skipper?
witness statement?
Wait. Here, now, wait a second. We're going out here to this thing, but we know we can't control the thing or open the thing without the thing and the shed. I mean, so where are we going?
I thought we were going to watch whales.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I thought we were going to the bio.
Oh, I don't know.
Gorgonzola.
Can we get to, I thought we had to go to the cupola or pergola or whatever it is.
The Gonzilla.
Gonzolo?
The Gonzo.
Oh my God, we're not
Gondola,
going anywhere.
gondola.
We're not going anywhere.
I'm sorry, I have too many words.
Words are weird. So yeah, the gondola. So are
Okay,
we
yeah.
going out to the gondola? Is that where we're going? I'm completely fine with that.
Well, I mean, what would we get from whale watching to get us closer to the shard?
You see a unicorn of the sea. Maybe Neb
there's a
can talk to
talking-
them. She's a seal right now.
I'm bobbing in the water thinking about orcas and how they eat me.
Yeah, she might get eaten though. That is true.
Well, we're going nowhere fast.
Yeah, and I don't want to alarm anyone, but this key that I made out of thin air, you know, I was kind of looking at it a little bit earlier, and that coffee pot just before we got off the train, it kind of disappeared after a couple of hours.
What?
Yeah, I don't think that I make things that are permanent necessarily, but they do last a little while. So
Okay.
all I'm saying is we probably have a little bit of like a timer on how much we can drive this
Well, couldn't
boat.
you just make another one?
I mean, I can if I don't run out of energy. And so all I'm trying to say is we might have, 4 hours or so tops on this.
Oh, that's good because there's a storm coming. And as much as I would like to be the professor, I don't intend on getting shipwrecked out here wherever we are. I do call the professor, by the way. I don't know who you guys plan on being. That's what I'm calling.
I like
Right.
it. So we got like 4 hours.
Yeah, so I guess
Um,
we're going to the.
To the gondola? Gorgonzola, yes.
I'm gonna
That's what we're
offer.
going.
Robin does know from her. You all were in the, you haven't turned it on. The utility shed. You didn't flip any of the switches. So, from what you saw in there,
We are
It's not-
geniuses.
it's not on yet.
Oh, I have to. Okay,
Just to
I'm gonna,
save you a trip.
I'm gonna be ridiculous. I'm listening on the side
Yes.
of the boat,
Yes.
and I had taken that real good look. Do I
Yeah.
know what I gotta flip in order to turn the gondola on?
Yeah, I mean there were levers and things that sort of were literally say power. There are other things that say, like
The simplest thing imaginable.
oxygen, it's a monitoring station, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to monitor the conditions of the habitat. But you saw, there's these big tanks, it has to be running in order
Power.
for the
And Neb,
thing.
as you're thinking
Yeah.
this or whatever inside you were hearing like full Han Solo mode. It's not my fault. I thought we were just going to look at whales. I didn't know we needed to turn on the station.
I'm gonna come as close to the side of the boat
Uh-huh.
as I can, and I'm gonna bark at everybody just so that they're looking at me. And then I'm gonna swim to the shore.
Okay.
And so seals do.
We have no idea where she's going, right? We're like looking at her. Where is she
Well,
going?
I'd make a
watching her?
beeline for the
Yeah.
shore.
She's
I
trying to
have a
solve
walking
our
speed.
oversight.
The worm, the seal,
Uh-huh,
waddle.
uh-huh. I'm gonna try to open the door as a seal.
Again, a poetic license of this is there's a collective
Aw, yeah.
I
It's
stop
unlocked.
half.
You might be able to nose it open.
It's more of a someone should help her.
I'm
We
just.
sit there in the boat and do nothing.
I know at any point.
If
I
only
can-
the rest of us had diving suits or flipper.
it's one of those where Neb knows at any point if she has to, she can not be a seal anymore, but
Yes.
she doesn't want to. So she's gonna try real hard to stay a
Okay.
seal, get up to the door,
Okay.
and then look at the doorknob for a moment and try to figure out how to grab it with her mouth and do
Okay.
the door thing as a seal and
This is
remember
gonna
everybody's looking
be
at her on the boat.
A strength thing because it's a heavy, sealed, insulated door here. So this is going to
Okay.
be a seal strength
Well, the
check
seal,
to see if you can pull this door.
the
Seal
seal
strength.
gets a +0, which is better than me. So
That's hysterical.
The seal's better at opening doors
Seal
than
strong.
Neb.
well, seal is stronger
Oh,
than me, but
God.
it only rolled a 6. So
Oh.
I get up to the thing and I
Unfortunately, just sort of hang from it and drop, and the tricky part is you can't
All right.
pull
The
it.
good news is, everyone, it's a boat, and I think they go in reverse. So We can
Okay.
go back to the dock. I mean, this was like being out at spring break in Pensacola or something. It's like, it doesn't even matter what state of undress people are in or anything else. As soon as they hear the boat light up, everybody jumps on the boat.
That's
We just
right,
totally
yeah.
did that somehow.
Yeah.
Like, we just lost our minds. So, like, we need to go in there and turn all the things on, and then we'll ride the boat.
All right. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna look back. Have they
Yes.
started to disembark?
You guys are coming back to the pier. Is
Yeah.
all of you going? One of you is going to run and do it?
Robin is definitely going to run and help.
Okay. Robin,
Okay.
you jump up onto the pier. Give me another acrobatics check.
Oh gosh. 0. Oh my god.
Oh boy, fun.
That's a nat 1.
Oh yeah.
no.
You're
In
going
the-
swimming?
In the rush of this, you slip. It's a slippery, like,
Yeah.
icy pier here. You slip in that water and slide along the edge, rolling off into the water. You're
I'm
going to make
immediately
a
heading-
Constitution saving throw, please.
It's okay. Maybe she can turn into a seal.
Now's the time to find out. I am immediately heading
Yeah.
straight for Robin.
Gotcha.
Still is a seal.
Constitution
No.
saving is it's a 13.
It's a 13. You're going to take 5 cold damage.
Oh jeez.
As it shocks your system, this really freezing cold water. The seal starts to run up towards you. You're not drowning. You're just sort of treading water there, but it is quite cold as you start to try to pull yourself up on that ice.
Oh geez, that first step is a doozy.
You okay, Robin? I mean, you're like dripping
I
wet.
think I turned Minnesota. It's so cold.
She hit her head so hard.
I'm gonna
If
come.
you were Minnesotan, we'd give you advantage on that Constitution
Yeah.
saving throw.
You'd be like taking
Oh,
off
you just
clothes
need
and
to
be like,
have
oh,
a hot cocoa, don't you know?
it's so comfortable out
warm.
here, yo. It's I'm gonna come swimming on up
Mhm.
and get real close so that Miss Robin can grab hold
Okay.
of something.
She pulls herself out of the water, but your clothing is sopping wet, and you, knowing these kinds of conditions, know that unless you get dry, this is only going to get worse.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you grab hold?
Yeah.
I will unless you say something different, I'm gonna go towards shore.
Yeah, you get her to shore. She's out of the water, but it's bad. As if she's remains wet out in these.
So
This
she's
is.
on the shore, though,
the-
not on the.
It
pier?
sounds like Neb pulled her to shore.
Okay.
Yeah,
rather
unless
than-
unless I would have started going towards the
Mhm.
shore, but if Robin says to go in a different direction, I will. But
Okay.
that's Neb's first inclination is get her to the place she was trying to go to anyway.
Quickest distance between 2 points is a neb.
Yeah, I guess.
The
I'm
safety seal is on
confused.
it.
Yes.
So is this? I'm trying to clarify. Are you headed toward the pool house or
Yeah.
whatever that
Take
place
the
is?
fine-
got it,
yes.
got it.
So yeah, get
like
us
I
on
said.
shore and then get warm
Maybe.
and
Yeah.
go from there.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood.
I'm just saying Robin has the intuitive knowledge to know that remaining wet is dangerous.
Yeah.
That the water is 32.5 degrees and the air is probably in the 20s.
Does Silas say that she had her bag with her when she fell in?
I mean,
Yeah, I would have.
Okay,
Robin
so
knows.
Silas is going to try to get to wherever she is as quickly as possible, and Silas doesn't try to do this because he thinks he's going to offend somebody, and so he just takes his bag with him, and he's trying to find some clothes that he thinks might fit her.
okay. So
Some
are you running?
towels.
Are you running down the pier? Are you swan diving into the water after?
I am not. I am trying to stay out of the water, so we're going to
Okay.
go pier way.
Acrobatics check, please, down the pier.
Oh,
Gosh.
The waves are getting rougher. It's starting to. You can see this. The storm is slowly approaching, but with every
Okay.
passing half hour or so, it gets a little bit more intense.
Nice job, Die Hard. That is a 19.
That is a 19. You
That is Zen
find
zirconium.
almost like you're dancing. You find like the drier spots, the places where you can get some grip, and you sprint right down that pier. Yeah, and are able to kind of meet Robin and Neb as they get to the shore and sort of help her to her feet as she's dripping and shivering. You can already see her lips are starting to turn blue.
I take every towel out.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and I'm like, I don't want to undress you. You can do that part. But then he's like, he's
Wrapping
trying
her in
to-
towels.
Yeah.
Great.
Trying to help her dry out.
Perfect.
Do you make your way to the utility shed inside there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Robin, you run over. You can open that door as a human. Pull it open. You make your way in with Neb the seal.
Oh, if I see the two of them going
Yeah.
on in, I'm gonna stay behind because I don't know if Fairuza
Gotcha.
and
Mhm.
Maeve are gonna make their way back, and I'm
Okay.
safety seal.
Gotcha.
There's nothing I can really do anymore in there, and if I turn back, I'm just a second wet person. So,
So-
I
I'm
mean,
gonna.
frankly, I'm quite content right where I am.
Yeah.
Stay
Here's
here.
almost fell.
Gotcha.
Staying in the boat.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you're protected from the wind because it has that
Yeah.
like canopy above it. You guys are actually
Yeah.
you're pretty good. Other than like the boat, is going like this.
Pitching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're in there. You feel pretty secure. So Robin, that
Mhm.
door shuts behind you, and instantly out of the wind. I mean, you are every inch of you is shaking. Your muscles are spasming with the coldness of that water. You can feel the shake of your lips, but being out of the wind is immediately starting to kind of take that down. But you can feel that chill begin to kind of relax a little bit now that you are in this insulated environment. It's not warm in here, but it is certainly not freezing.
Are you okay, Miss Robin?
Oh, I've hiked to the base of Mount Everest, and this is worse than that. Ha!
Hobby or a job?
It was a hobby.
So Silas is looking around at this point,
Yes.
and he is trying to find. I don't know. Is there a space heater? Is there anything that looks like it might warm the place? If not, he's going to look for things to burn.
All right. Investigation check.
Please
Do you
don't
want me to
set
do
our
it?
building on fire. immediately.
Oh, he
no.
rolled a 1 on
A
the
1.
investigation checks.
Again, it's tight. There's two of you in this tiny little space. It's everything's kind of strange to you. You are a land thief, man. This nautical
I gotta
stuff
get out of
is
this.
just way beyond you. It's
I'm
way
about
over your head.
tired of this mother.
All you
Water.
see is a big power switch. It says power on off.
I hit the power button.
Boom! You move the lever, slam it down into the on section. You immediately hear the of a generator starting to run, and begin to feel heat pump in from vents at the bottom of this space. Not only that, a keen observer, which you are not in this moment, but maybe those of you in the boat can see a light
The audience.
begin to blink. Yes, the audience would notice a light begin to blink at the top of this diver's gondola about 500 feet out to sea. All of the gadgets and dials and things within this control center, this monitoring center, spring to life, beginning to show you levels of oxygen, the current pressure at certain areas of this sea lab. It seems to be everything is reading in the green.
Oh.
And then Silas is just like, so Miss Robin, are you changing clothes, or are you trying to just dry the clothes that you currently have, or?
Oh, I'll be fine. And she's like pouring water out of her boot.
And you're in the engineer's overalls, right?
I am still in my old overalls.
Oh, you're still in your old overalls. Okay.
So yeah, I'll be fine. They'll dry quickly, I'm sure.
Just rub your chest. Your arms will take care of themselves. I learned that from a ninja.
Met a real ninja.
Great. Will do.
Well, Fairuza, can she just plant herself behind the wheel of the boat and look at Maeve and say, shall we just, drive this sucker up to the front door? It looks like they're all
I
inside.
think we'll beach the boat if we do that.
You think? You think the rudder will hit land?
I think there's a reason that it's docked here and not pulled up on shore. And meanwhile, Maeve has kind of dug through her bag and pulled out a pullover Irish fishing sweater, Irish fishing sweater, and put that on.
Fair
just
Isle
looking at me.
design.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably get in there with you. That's huge. Who made that thing?
Brought it from back home.
Do you think they're going to come out of there?
Eventually, Silas is going to crack the door. I think she's going to be okay. I turned something on, and I think I fixed the heat.
And the light's going now.
Oh, the Gorgonzola's lining up? Okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
we noticed.
All right, so yeah, Robin, if you're gonna let your clothes dry off on you, it's probably gonna take 15 minutes or so. If you're gonna hang out in that heated room and kind of let yourself dry up a bit.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
cool?
That's fine. I think we have 15 minutes.
Okay, so we will sort of, spend this time as she's
Yeah.
drying off. Just in case there's anything you guys want to do, you can just wait for her. But in case there's anything you want to do while you wait for Robin to dry off.
Like Fairuza's just looking in the boat
Great.
for like
May I
see
search the
snacks
boat?
somewhere on the boat.
Okay, you two want to
Something.
search the boat?
Maybe
Yes.
find
Yeah.
the real key.
Well, Maeve, go ahead and give us an investigation check.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You are noticing that it's not terribly well stocked. A lot of the compartments, you do find some of the compartments, but they're mostly empty. It's mostly safety supplies. You're seeing a lot of life jackets, life preservers.
I'll pull out one of those for each of us.
Yeah. One thing you find that is interesting to you, there are no scuba suits on here, but there are some rescue tanks. So just very small little tanks of oxygen that you just, put in your mouth like you would a snorkel.
Rescue.
And just for, a very short amount of just rescue breath. But you can find 3 of those.
Okay.
I'll
3
take those
rescue
and put those
tanks.
in my bag.
Great. You do not find any food. Okay.
Nothing. No snacks. Nothing like
No
that.
snacks
Okay.
on
Well,
this boat,
You-
no.
You did all have good berries this morning, so
that's
everybody.
true. Okay, so I'm
everybody
still
should
full.
Yeah, you should be
Okay,
good for
we're
the
good.
day.
Yeah, we're
now, if you want to nosh, that's a completely different thing, and I totally get that. But like, as far as needing food and water, you should be good. Once it's clear that Ms. Robin is going to take the time to
Right. Dry
rightfully dry off, knowing that she needs to do the same thing, Neb is going to run on up as a seal to the door.
Okay.
And I am assuming the door closed when
Yes.
the 2 of you went inside. She is going to use her flipper and knock.
Robin will answer.
And as soon as you
Hello,
open the
there.
door,
Who is it?
what you open the door to is Neb in human form, standing there shivering, going, "That sounds like a really good idea. Can I come in?"
Come on in. Come on in.
And
So
I
you
will
step into the warmth, yes.
Yeah, and I will do the same. I will get out of wet clothes and dry off and dry all of that so that I don't have to worry about this later. Silas, can I have a couple of those towels?
Most of them are wet, and then he's just trying to find like the driest one.
Yeah.
I just need one or
Yeah.
two, and I'll grab them. And there's a moment in where, as I'm finishing drying off, you watch as Neb kind of, oh, that's interesting.
What
What
is
is
it?
it?
I don't know. There's like remember how on my leg there was like that thick stuff after I got all the when I got hurt and my skin got real
Which time?
thick. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Silas. I got a little bit right here. It's a little itchy.
Is it okay?
Yeah. And
Is it like a rash?
she'll show you, and it'll basically look like what's on her leg, which is just kind of a thicker piece of skin in a fairly distinctive shape, the same way that she had on her leg. I didn't notice that before. And then she'll quickly get into other clothes. Okay. Are we getting back on the boat?
Robin nods her head, but she's kind of absentmindedly. She's taken out some Band-Aids and a Ziploc bag, and she has her boot, the one with the hole in it, and she's kind of kind of wrapped it with the just things from her bag, and she's trying to wrap it, and she's like, this has to hold, I can't go onto a boat with a hole in it, and as she's kind of doing this, you actually see that the Band-Aids and the Ziploc bags start to meld into the hole, and suddenly her boot is brand new.
Yay!
Miss Robin, did you just do that?
I just did that, and she's hugging her boot is now mended.
That's amazing.
Okay, can I see it?
She hands it over.
And Silas is just like studying it. You can just like fix things with your mind?
Maybe. I don't know. I just was really wanting it to be fixed, and I just kind of, I don't know. I'm just so happy. And she's gonna like, as she's drying off, she's starting to put her clothes back together and her boots on.
Is there anything loose like on the counter, like a pen or a pencil?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Definitely.
Silas is like, ooh, try this. And he like breaks the pencil. And he hands it to her. Try this.
Oh, it's simple. You just, put it back to, and whoop, it's just a single pencil again. Wow!
So we can break anything now and you can just fix it.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I suppose I can try.
I wonder how big of a thing you can fix.
Does, let's start.
Silas is looking for something larger. Is there
There's a
anything
clipboard.
Okay, is there anything bigger than a clipboard?
Bigger than a clipboard. Is it bigger than a bread box?
You said there was an old chair in here. Is
Yeah,
there?
there is. There's like an office chair.
Is there part of the office chair that's like? I'm not saying break it, but like, is there a part of it since it's old that like is worn and
You can pull
destroyed?
off. Sure. I mean, it's pretty rickety. You can pull off a piece of that chair. Maybe the headrest.
Silas is like rabidly trying to break it. Like,
Miss Robin, come try it. Come try this one.
All right, but why not? Okay, and she'll, kind of stuff it back into its regular shape and just kind of rub her hands a little bit, and as long as it wasn't extremely broken, it mends back together.
Pulls itself back together.
oh, the possibilities are limitless. Oh my goodness, Miss Robin, that is so impressive.
This feels. I feel much better now, knowing
Good.
that this is a thing.
This is an amazing thing. That like you always were really good at fixing things and mending things, and now you can just do it.
It is. This is quite magical. You're right. I've always been able to sew things and, but this is different.
Wow.
All
You
right,
are
are we
dry?
staying here or are we
Yeah.
going back on the boat?
I think we should go back on the boat because the key's going to disappear in like, I don't know, an hour and a half probably.
Also, the other two are still on the boat.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to trying to cross that again.
If Robin and Silas and Neb would like to cross together, we could do a help acrobatics check.
All right.
Let's do it.
You want to hold
Well,
hands?
I mean, I'm not
Neb
much
doesn't
help.
want to help. Okay.
I mean, I am a detriment in this case.
Neb,
No.
get in here.
Yeah,
Get in here.
Get in
Gosh.
here. We need everyone involved.
I need the help, so I'll
All
be
right.
Clear
there.
eyes, full hearts. Can't
So,
lose.
just what are acrobatics? Or we'll use Silas's acrobatics modifier. I'm assuming, and
Sounds
we will
good.
add the dexterity modifiers for Neb and for Robin.
Great. That's
So,
0.
That's a
That's
0
That's a
Plus-
negative
plus-
1.
and a
4.
-1 and a +4. Go ahead and roll it.
Here's
Silas.
what I'm gonna do though. Just before we step,
Yeah.
we've all kind of taken hands again. And it's like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Silas, I'm sure you've got this, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of support. So
Aw.
you can add a D4 to that.
Okay. Got it.
Nice.
Which will hopefully counteract my -1.
And I'm definitely going to need that, I feel like. Okay, I rolled a
Negative
4
1.
on the 4. So that's good. So that is a
Okay.
total of 13.
All right. As you step out, Neb, you're going. You can do it, Silas. You can do whatever your support is, however it manifests. Silas, it's a little harder having to guide 2 others with you, and Neb is kind of slipping all around back there. But you're able to just kind of, as she circles her arms, you grab onto her, and as Robin sort of loses her footing, you help her, and as you yourself kind of slide, they are able to support each other as you just make your way down a couple of places. Maybe your foot almost goes in, but you're able to pull it out before it gets wet, and you all slide gratefully into the boat.
Well, that felt like the ballet.
Huh.
Let's go out to sea.
Adventurers on ice.
To put one of these on, and I start handing out life vests just right off the bat.
Maeve, you're amazing. And I'm going to
Excellent
immediately
idea.
put it on.
Yes, there are
Pretty
plenty
amazing.
of life jackets
A
for all
land
of you.
thief like me wouldn't have thought of that.
You now have turned on the sea lab and are in the boat, which is still, which is running off of Silas's homemade key.
Yes.
Who's driving? Where are you going?
We're going to the
Fairuza's
gondola.
right behind the wheel.
Fairuza steps
Wow.
up to the wheel. You
Yes.
drive into the gondola?
Yes.
All
And
right.
while we're on the way there, if
Uh-huh.
you guys would like to do some whale watching, you're welcome to.
Is it
I
still
mean,
daylight? I
It
assume
is still
right?
daylight.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
I mean, now that I'm
Okay.
not food for a whale, I absolutely would.
Okay.
All
I mean,
right.
maybe there's one that can talk to us or has some information for us. You never know at this point. We went to a party with rats.
Whales seem like they would be helpful, but I don't know if that is a blanket statement that can be applied to all whales or not. So
I'm excited to find out.
Fairuza
Orcas
kicks
are
it.
jerks.
Just give me your sweater. Just kidding.
This boat starts jumping on the waves as Fairuza, you hold on steady, really kind of guiding this thing. All of you holding on to the gun whales or whatever on the side, holding on as it jumps in the air. We're hoping most of you don't have any seasickness. As Fairuza, you get them there pretty quick. You slow it down, idling it back into neutral, and kind of circling around this buoy, where you can indeed see a hatch. It is barely sort of bobbing above the water. It has a, sort of submarine type wheel that you spin in order to open it. It looks a little rusty. There's some barnacles upon it, but you can see that it is indeed a larger, vessel beneath the water that is attached to a cable that descends into the Blackwater Bay. And with that, we will call that the end of this episode of Children of Éarte. Thank you all so much for being with me today. And remember that life itself is the most wonderful.